Picture this. Britain's Chancellor about to deliver what could be her final budget, while Reform UK's deputy leader confidently predicts the government's demise. Rachel Reeves has her red box ready for November 26th. But Richard Tice reckons she might as well pack her office belongings while she's at it. And here's the kicker. He's not just talking about Reeves. Sir Keir Starmer himself might be delivering his last budget as Prime Minister. Bold claim? Absolutely. But when Reform UK is polling in double digits and Nigel Farage is eyeing up number 10 like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, perhaps it's time we paid attention. Quick favour, if you're loving this, hit that subscribe button. Over 92% of viewers haven't yet. It's free, takes a second, and means the world to us. Thanks if you did. Now back to the show. Richard Tice isn't mincing words these days. The 61-year-old deputy leader of Reform UK has gone from digging foundations in the snow with Irish labourers to becoming one of the most vocal critics of Labour's economic strategy. And when he looks at what Reeves and Starmer have done to Britain's economy, he says he wants to weep. Actually weep. That's not hyperbole from a politician trying to score cheap points. That's genuine despair from someone who spent decades in the property business and knows what economic destruction looks like up close. The man has a track record that would make most politicians jealous. Co-founded Leave.eu, helped launch Leave Means Leave, quit the Conservatives in 2019 to chair what became Reform UK. He's basically the political equivalent of that friend who always said the party would be rubbish, left early, and then watched everyone else have a terrible time whilst he enjoyed a quiet night in. Except instead of a party, it's the entire British political establishment. And instead of a quiet night in, he's plotting to put Farage in Downing Street. So what's got Tice so convinced this is curtains for Starmer and Reeves? Let's break down the bombshell he's dropping. Reform UK is working all hours that God gives, as Tice puts it, preparing for the next general election. Can they win? Yes, he says. Is it easy? Absolutely not. But here's what should terrify Labour. Tice genuinely believes they're an existential threat, and recent results suggest he might not be delusional. Take the Caerphilly by-election. Labour, the party that's run Wales since Tony Blair introduced devolution in 1999, finished third. Third, behind Reform and winners Plaid Cymru. That's not just embarrassing. That's the political equivalent of turning up to your own birthday party and finding out everyone's gone to someone else's celebration instead. Tice reckons Reform could actually lead the Welsh government. The confidence is palpable, the ambition undeniable. But let's talk about what really matters. The economy. Because this is where Tice transforms from confident politician to genuinely concerned citizen. He's losing sleep over Britain's finances. So is Farage. And when you hear what he's saying about the current trajectory, you might lose some sleep too. Investment, down. Jobs, down. Vacancies, down. Confidence, you guessed it, down. Everywhere you look, according to Tice, there's doom and gloom. The only thing keeping the British economy afloat is what he calls the sugar rush of wasteful public sector spending. That's like running a marathon on nothing but energy drinks and biscuits. Sure, you'll feel great for about 20 minutes. Then you'll crash harder than a dodgy cryptocurrency. Here's where it gets spicy. Tice warns that if Reeves launches another tax raid in the November 26 budget, more people will lose their jobs and growth will plummet. He's predicting that within 6 to 12 months, unemployment will dominate conversations up and down the country. That's not just a political attack, that's a genuine warning about Britain's economic future. And given that he's been right about quite a few long-shot predictions before, perhaps we should listen. So what would Reform do differently? Tice has 3 priorities that he's absolutely crystal clear about. Cut vast amounts of wasteful spending. Scrap what he colourfully calls net stupid zero. And bin a whole load of daft unproductive regulations. It's a simple formula really. Stop wasting money. Stop pursuing climate policies he thinks are economically suicidal. And stop strangling businesses with red tape. Whether you agree or not, you cannot accuse the man of lacking clarity. Let's dive into his vision for Britain. Because this is where Reform's platform gets properly interesting. At the core is tackling what Tice calls the legions of the work-shy and getting people back into jobs. Now, before anyone clutches their pearls, hear him out. His philosophy is straightforward. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Everybody has to contribute. Everybody's got to pay their way. Work, he insists, is a great thing. It's good for your family, good as an example to your children. The best cure for mental health: get up, get out, get on, get busy. You might find that message refreshingly direct or offensively simplistic, depending on your political leanings. But there's no denying it resonates with a significant chunk of the British public, who feel like they're working themselves into the ground whilst others seemingly coast by. Tice is tapping into something real here, something that transcends traditional left-right politics. It's about fairness, contribution, and the social contract. And speaking of things that wind him up, let's talk about businesses. Tice is incensed about what he sees as needless burdens being placed on companies trying to survive. There's a new packaging tax coming in that he describes as a logistical, expensive, useless, pointless nightmare. These are the sort of things reform would just scrap. No consultation, no committee, no 18-month implementation phase. Just gone. But wait, there's more. Tice wants to tackle what he calls dodgy barbers, mini-markets and vape shops on Britain's high streets. He reckons many are fronts for laundering drug money, and it's all happening in plain sight. The whole thing's crackers, he says. Absolutely crackers. Now, whether you think this is genuine insight or conspiracy theory territory, it's undeniable that Britain's high streets have changed dramatically. And questions about certain cash-heavy businesses are increasingly common. Immigration. Of course we were going to get here. Reform has reached the top of the polls, partly because illegal immigration is a massive concern for many voters. And Tice has strong opinions about Labour's approach. He's scathing. Absolutely scathing. Labour said they'd smash the gangs and stop the boats. Instead, Tice claims, they've encouraged the gangs. The government's strategy, in his view, has failed hugely. And France? Oh, don't get him started on France. According to Tice, they're just banking our cash, handing some to their gendarmes, and there's massive corruption around northern France. They're all complicit, he says. It suits them. They're laughing at British stupidity. Whether this is diplomatic truth-telling or bridge-burning rhetoric, it certainly makes clear where reform stands on cross-channel cooperation. The European Convention on Human Rights is another battleground. The Conservatives now support pulling out, but Tice sees no chance of cross-party consensus before the next election. Labour and the Lib Dems, he says, are obsessed with this ridiculous, outdated, archaic dinosaur legislation. Strong words, but they reflect reform's fundamental belief that Britain needs to break free from international legal frameworks that constrain its ability to control borders. Then there's the EU itself. Tice is very concerned about Labour potentially pushing Britain closer to Brussels before voters get another say. Why, he asks, would you handcuff yourself to a failing model that's sinking relative to global competition? There's no growth in the EU, he argues. They're not shooting the lights out compared to Britain. They're all in deep trouble with a couple of smallish exceptions. It's the Brexit argument never really ended, just evolved. May's elections are going to be crucial. Thousands of council seats up for grabs, plus control of the Welsh and Scottish parliaments. Reform reckons they could do extraordinarily well in Scotland with their Drill Scotland Drill message. It's provocative, unapologetically pro-oil and gas, and apparently playing well north of the border. If Reform can prove they can actually run things, improve people's lives in council areas they control, then Westminster suddenly looks a lot more achievable. But here's what might surprise you. Despite all the doom and gloom about Labour, Tice absolutely loves being an MP. He talks with genuine warmth about helping constituents, sorting out a pensioner's DWP miscalculation here, getting a young lad a replacement wheelchair there.